Svapitang yena bhutale Svayam rupa kadamayam Dadati swapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhani Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'd like to first offer my obeisances unto Sri Guru. Without the help of both Diksha and Shiksha Guru in my life, I'd have nothing to offer. They are my connection to this link of mercy, this process of bhakti, and without them, there is nothing for me to offer you. So I want to first and foremost offer my obeisances to them. And then I'd like to offer my obeisances unto all of the Gaudiya Guru Varga, the lineage of great saints who have been passing down this bhakti, this mercy coming from Sri Krishna to hear us all the way now in 2026 in Syracuse, New York. And finally, I'd like to offer my obeisances to all my spiritual brothers and sisters. Panchakalpa, Tridishta, Kripa, Sandhivyevacha, Patitanang, Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Any online, and actually all the Vaishnavas past, present, and future, which actually includes every living entity, because the nature of the soul is to be a Vaishnava, means to serve Krishna. And so some souls in this lifetime, they'll get it and they'll serve Krishna, and then others, it might take them 1, 2, 10, 8 million, 1 billion more lifetimes to go. So it depends how fortunate the soul is, but you're all quite fortunate because in this lifetime you get to hear about bhakti and engage to some degree in bhakti, and so it's not too long from here on out now, as long as we don't make some deep offenses. So, you want to come with me? You can sit with me. All right. So we're studying Bhagavad Gita. We're studying Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Dashmula Tattva, or it's one verse he composed, which are the 10 main truths shared by Lord Chaitanya when he came here. Those 10 main truths are all found in Bhagavad Gita, but they're just some in substance, concise, in just one verse. So if you learn this one verse, so you know the 10 foundational teachings Lord Chaitanya came to give, and then you'll know the 10 foundational teachings of Bhagavad Gita as well. So it goes like so. Amnaya praha tattvam harimiha paramam sarva shaktim risabdhi tadvinang shastra jivan prakriti kavalitan tadvimuktangscha bhavad veda veda prakasham sakalam api hare sadhanam shuddha bhakti sadyam tadpriti meveti upadishati janan Koda Chandra Swayam Saha. So, we've discussed in the past few weeks the first parts, Amnaya Praha, how the Vedas are proclaiming through the Guru Parampara, this mercy system of the Lord, where He is divine and He is given His divine wisdom for the benefit of all others. And when He empowers His saint or His sage, He transfers it to us, like in the beginning of this universe. The Amnaya was given to Lord Brahma, then Lord Brahma gave it to Narada and all his other sons, and then they began sharing it all over the world. And then Vyasadeva got it, and then Vyasadeva gave it to us, and now we're trying to get in connection. But the proper way to get in connection is to not necessarily research on the internet. Be like, all right, let me plug in here and get connected with the Vedas, because we are conditioned and we have our biases and our imperfections in how we perceive reality. So if we rely only on our limited perception, we will misinterpret the Vedas, and we are not actually in Amnaya. Amnaya means to hear submissively from the empowered saint from which the mercy of Bhakti was given, and they can transfer it to you in that way. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena seva upadekshanti te jnanam ganinas tattvadarshana. So, this is how. So, amnaya praha tattvam harimiha paramam. The main reality, the main truth is Hari, the Supreme Lord. And in this world, He is the topmost thing. In all of the worlds, He is the topmost thing. We may think, right now, in my life, getting a good job is the topmost thing. Or in my life, getting good grades is the topmost thing. Or providing for my family is the topmost thing. And none of these things are the topmost thing. The topmost thing is always the Lord, and from which the Lord sanctioned, everything comes. So if we understand, like it said, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mata parataram nanya, kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarva midam protam sutrimani gana iva. That Krishna, He is, beyond Him there's no superior truth. And from Him everything is resting in this universe, just like pearls are resting on a thread. So Krishna is the underlying fabric of reality, and if you seek that underlying fabric of reality and put your time, energy, and effort there, you will have unlocked the secret of everything, and everything will be added unto you, actually. But for those who try to only look at the pearls that are resting on the string of Krishna, not acknowledging that Krishna is the string holding them all together, just like you would like my scarf's in the way. But if you like my necklace, yes, the tulsi beads look very nice on the necklace. But what no one is appreciating so much is the string that's holding the necklace. This is actually the finest, most important part of the necklace. Because without the string, the beads will scatter everywhere and there is no necklace. So without Krishna's underlying position in reality, everything's not going to hold together, no matter what it is you like about this world. So the wise people, they recognize the supreme truth and they approach. Krishna is Sarva Shaktim. He is the source of all energies that we associate in this world, whether they be the temporary material energies we like to play with here, or the sublime spiritual energies we hear about in the scriptures, or even the jivas, the souls, the conscious aware beings that are here in this world. Everything is but Krishna's energy. So if we know this, we're starting to get an understanding of how reality functions, that God is the fabric and foundation of everything. He's Risabdhim. He's the source of all tasty relationships. We are always looking for different flavors of love in this world. Now I'm in the flavor of love of fatherhood in my life. So, when my little son, he says, "Daddy," and he runs up to me, there's just like a flavor of love that's incomparable that I've experienced yet at least in this lifetime. And so on. So there's different flavors. We have flavors with our significant others. We have flavors with our parents. We have flavors with our children, flavors with our acquaintances, our bosses, and so on. We have different flavors of love and relationship. But Krishna is the ocean of all flavors. All flavors reach their pinnacle in one's relationship with Krishna. So if you think your relationship with your boss is nice, just wait till you get a nice relationship with Krishna. Or if you think your relationship with your wife or your significant other is nice, just wait until you get the relationship with Krishna. And if you think your relationship with your children or anyone else in this material world is nice, just wait until your relationship with Krishna awakens. So that's what we're trying to do we're recognizing Krishna's position, the Supreme Person. The example given here is if you cook a nice meal, like today, Madhav had made a dessert, and Divyanshu and Tanu had made the rest of the feast for today. And Stella actually made really delicious biscuits today. I actually tried them, they're really nice. So, and Stella made some nice biscuits. So, but they can only create what's already in the ingredients in the kitchen. If it's not in the ingredients in the kitchen, you can't make it. It's not that you can just put it all together and then make something completely fresh and new without it first being in the ingredients in the kitchen. If you're missing cardamom in the kitchen, you're not going to taste the flavor of cardamom in the dish. So all of the relationships, the love that we taste in this world, if it's not already first present in Krishna, we're not going to get to taste it, actually. So no matter what we're looking for, it's in Krishna first. So if we get to that main ingredient and understand that's the magic secret to everything, and we put our time, our energy, and our relationship emphasis on Krishna, we will get a great result. And everything will be maximized in this world. So, let's continue here. So, last time we were here, we studied Tad Binangshas Chajivan Prakriti Kavalitan, which is that everyone is a separated part and parcel of Krishna. And some of us are Prakriti Kavalitan, most of us were completely swallowed up by the Jadahankara, or the dead false ego, or the false ego that associates with temporary material things. So what are some temporary material things our false ego associates with? What's that? I couldn't hear what you said. A car. Yes, some people, they get very attached to what their car looks like, and they might identify, I'm the driver. What kind of car do you have?
I don't have any car.
You have no car. Okay, so some people might get attached to saying, oh, I'm a, I don't know, people get attached to the weirdest things. But, their Honda Civic group or something like that, and I drive this type of Civic, and, things. Or I drive a Lamborghini, or I drive a Bugatti, or I don't know, really cars like that. So, yeah, that's one thing. What's even more prominent than people identifying with their cars?
Material family.
Their material family, this person is related to me, I have this type of husband, I have this type of wife, I have this type of child, this type of family, I come from this lineage, I take birth in this family, in this caste, so many other things. But even that, this is just a temporary arrangement in this world. And anyone remember their family from their past life? Avani, could you tell me your mother's name in your previous life? How about 2 lives ago? 3? No, so we don't know, and doesn't really, I guess it doesn't matter at this point, right? So that we put so much emphasis in this world. I come from an Italian family, and they like some silly slogan that Italians seem to think is true, and it's like family over everything. Family. No. No. But they because they don't really understand there's something higher and they're identifying with this body and where they were born and their parents, but these are all temporary arrangements. But what's the main problem? Why would we identify with the family? Because the first problem is we identify with what?
Body.
We're this body even. To think that, I'm this body, this bag of flesh and meat and skin and pus and blood and stool and urine. What do you think's inside? And it's not so. If you ever noticed all of your holes, if you open up the holes of the body, they all smell like a different nasty way in some way or another. The breath in the morning, especially, the mouth really stinks. If you smell inside the ear, it has a really yucky thing. In the nose, it's like, and every hole of the body has a different foul smell because it's a bunch of gross things in this body actually, and it's for certain not us. Yeah. Does anyone know any of their relatives have left this world? Anyone lose any relatives? Yes, a couple. What happened to their body when they left? Did they take it or did you guys have to keep it?
cremate it.
Yeah, you have to cremate it. Why cremate it?
So that it can be removed from this material world.
Yes, and it also it's sanitary because it's decomposing, it's rotting, and it's going to get very foul if we leave it. No one keeps their grandpa's body around and puts it out in the house, because it's going to get very foul very quickly. So this is the nature of this body. It's a very foul arrangement, and the only thing that makes it nice is the soul that's within it. So we should understand who we are. We're Tadbinangshas. We're little parts and parcels of God. Right now we're Prakriti Kavalitan. We are being swallowed up by the illusion that we are this body and we are the identifications with this body, and I look in the mirror and I'm looking good today. But it's not really you. It's just your bag of flesh and meat. It's not you. And then we might go on a rigorous fitness program or a rigorous weight loss program or a rigorous this program or that program, healing program. But it's not really you. So it's fine, you can do all these things if you're interested in using the body. What's the body useful? What's everything in this material world useful for?
Krishna's service.
Yes, because that's the nature of the soul actually. Everything can be utilized for Krishna's service, then it's perfect. So you can do your fitness regimen, you can do your whole regimen, taking care of your body. And if you use it for Krishna's service, it's perfect. But if you use it for anything else, you're Prakriti Kavalitan, you're swallowed by Maya. Which is what was happening right now to 99.99% of the world around us, including ourselves, especially ourselves. So, but some jivas, they understand the nature of the soul, and they're able to discriminate between the soul, and they're able to discriminate between what is jad, or what is dead matter, and what is the soul. And they know this is the body, this is related to the body, and if I put all my emphasis on these things, then I'm foolish, and I'm actually wasting my life. Shramayeva Kevalam, is that what it is? Everything is a completely waste of time, as the Bhagavatam says. So we must do something different, hopefully. If you haven't realized that yet, then just be patient and keep hearing. Maybe hear from some more realized soul than me, and then eventually you might get it. Oh yeah, why am I doing that? Why am I putting all my time, my energy, my effort into something that's all going to go away? Actually, in the the demonic way of life, I was telling Divyanshi this today, but the demonic way of life always thinks this thing will always bring a greater standard of happiness to the soul. What do you think it is? Not you, Divyanshu.
Can you just repeat that first?
Well, in the demonic standard of life, they think this one thing will bring happiness. But then when you actually evaluate your life, you might say, oh crap, I'm demonic, because this is what I'm thinking is going to bring me a better standard of happiness. What is the one thing?
Sense gratification.
Not even quite. There's a type of sense gratification, but it's the foundation from which you can acquire all the sense gratifications you can desire in this world. What?
Greed.
Yes, greed for what?
Money.
Money as well. As well. Like there are two demons that came when Jai and Vijay fell. Their names were Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. What does Hiranyaksha mean? Hiranya's gold, Aksha is eyes. One whose eyes are always on gold. One whose eyes are on wealth. This is the demonic way of life. And Hiranyakashipu is gold, and Kashipu is like soft bedding, but like material comforts. Because what do you do on soft bedding? You enjoy sex life and all kinds of material comforts on soft bedding. And so these are the demonic principles in life. And this is for a jiva who's prakriti kavalitan, who's swallowed up by Maya. Yes.
Prabhu, why would any father name their child like Ramya?
I don't know if they actually named them that. That's all yours. Yes, so that's where I name you. But I think by the way that they acted, the Shastras have named them like that. So, yes. And there's many times you may look like, why would they name like that? Why would they name like that? But no, they've earned that nickname, Like Bhishma wasn't born Bhishma, he was Devavrata, but he earned Bhishma by his great and terrible vow, right? So we all call him Bhishma. But he wasn't like father saying, oh, you shall be Bhishma. No, it was an earned nickname. So like that. Like Krishna wasn't born Parthasarathi. And he acted as the charioteer of Arjuna and earned the name Parthasarathi. And so now
he wasn't born with any of the other names except for Krishna.
Yes.
Not even born.
Yeah. Well, you could say in one way he's totally born, and then in another way, in Tattva, he's always appearing on his own will. So anyhow, like this. But there's some souls, tad vimuktanshcha Bhagavad, who are vimukta. They're completely liberated, and they understand that no, I'm not this body. No, these things of this material world, me associating with matter cannot give me happiness. This demonic pursuit of wealth cannot give me happiness. It has nothing to do. Why? Why can't it? Everyone seems to think wealth will give me a better standard of happiness. I know if I had $100,000 more, I'd have a much better standard of happiness. Why are we so convinced? Right? Everyone here, that's in their mind, in your heart, you're thinking like that. Yes. If I did have $100,000, so many of my problems would be solved. But no, actually. None of your problems would be solved. You'd actually only have increased problems. Because now you would get a finer taste for how you can use this for more sense gratification. That's what would happen, actually, instead. This wealth and all, everything's actually perfect as it is. If you have enough for your body and soul to be together and to practice bhakti in whatever phase of life, this is actually enough. That's all that's necessary, actually. Body and soul is together, and I have some capacity to practice bhakti. That's enough, actually. But we're, due to our illusion, we are chasing after wealth. And we are following in the parampara of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Eyes on the prize. And, what's the prize? Wealth and a beautiful sense gratificatory situation. Nice apartment, a nice bed, nice people to share these things with. And like this is the highlight. But no, this is the way to get swallowed up by this material world. And be disappointed when it all goes away from you. Anyone come into this world with wealth? You get to transfer any of your wealth from the last life? How much did you come? How much dollars you come with in this life? Or maybe rupees? 0 rupees too? But you're Indian. How did you come with 0 rupees? Yes, you come with nothing, and then guess how much you get to leave with? How? Yeah, 0. So it's... why we build all this, everything. So we came with nothing, and so we can leave with nothing. But we get so foolish, and we think, we think our kids will keep it forever. No, they will leave with nothing too. It's a useless pursuit. So why do all these things? Yes, this is what a vimukta, they understand. Yeah, why am I doing all this? I'm not going to spend my life doing like this anymore. I'm going to use my time more intelligently. Because they understand something. They understand the divine nature of God, and they understand the divine nature of themselves even. And the soul is actually like God in some way. That's what we'll talk about today. Beda prakasham sakalam. That. The soul is different from God. How are we different from God?
Because we don't have those qualities and we are minute.
Yes. God has, even though we have some of God's qualities, He has them in toto, and we have them in a very minute capacity. We're like a grain of sand, and He's like an overwhelming avalanche of many beaches, and we're like a speck of gold, and He's like a inexhaustible gold mine. Like this. Same substance is there, speck of gold, and the total gold mine, they're the same substance actually, but vastly different in quantity. So this is like God. So the soul has a couple aspects of it. The soul, but how is the soul different from the body? What differentiates the soul from the body?
Soul never dies.
Yeah, the soul never dies actually. Actually, the soul is said to be akanda. It means it cannot be divided. You cannot divide the soul. Your body, you can divide it into many parts. Like when you cremate the body after it dies, there are many little grains, little parts that you cremate. And you have to throw all of them in certain places. Or maybe some in this place, some in this place. Like this. But the soul cannot do that. Has anyone ever had an experience in their life? And we should understand, so there's some aspects of the soul that are there. One aspect of the soul is gyatritva, goptritva, and kartritva. So these are some symptoms of the soul. These are how it's also a like God. We are like God, because God has, He's aware, and the soul is also aware. But God's awareness is of everything and all consciousnesses, but we're only aware of our own experience. And we cannot be divided, like we're a kanda. Has anyone ever had an experience where your vantage point was divided? Instead of having one vantage point, you had two vantage points, or three or four? No, you only always have one vantage point. Yes, your point may change, but you're experiencing it from a unified singularity. You're not experiencing it like, all right, well, this is my 2026 vantage point, but then I also carry my 2025 and my 2024. No, we have one vantage point. So this is gyatritva, where we are aware. We have a consciousness of only our own minute position and minute experience. And right now our minute experience is that I'm this body, and the things that I can acquire with this body are mine, and this will make me happy. Chiefly if I get wealth, if I just get some money, I can be happy. Yes, we think like this. But it cannot be so. It never was so for anybody in the past, and it never will be so for anybody in the future. It cannot be so. This is there's been an error, a malfunction in the intelligence, where the intelligence thinks incorrectly. So this is called prakriti kavalitan, being swallowed up by illusion of this material nature. Nothing that you can acquire, these things that you can acquire, they're all dead. This is dead energy. Maybe someone designed it, but I can pop it and get some little experience out of here, but this is like life. It's just like a quick pop, and it really does nothing for you. This is our analogy of what we're trying to experience. It's a quick little pop, a quick little thrill. Here's a little sex. Here's a little, what else do people like in this world? This tastes good. This feels good. That was beautiful. This was nice. And it's just like a quick little pop, and then go on. You just keep going in this world. And just like you'd all think I was crazy if, when Abhiram plays with this toy, it's not a big deal because he's a baby. But if I were to walk down the street playing with this toy, everyone would be, this is very strange. But, this is actually, this is what we're kind of doing. We're playing with silly toys in this material world and flaunting them to everyone. Oh, look how mine pops, and look how your pops, and mine pops louder than your pops. And this is all nonsense, We're playing with children. We're playing with rubbish, actually. So, this is what it means. But the vimuktas, they're not like that. The liberated souls, they're not like that. They know who they are as a soul, and they know what's the proper use of the human form of life. They know that jivara sarupa hoy, Krishnera, Jivara Swarupahoy Krishnera Nityadas, sorry. See, I forget. Krishnera Tatasta Shakti Veda Veda Prakash, right? So that we are Krishna's eternal servant, and we are the Tatasta Shakti. What does Tatasta mean? Marginal? What does marginal mean?
In between.
Yes, it's like on the edge of something. It's on the cusp of something. And so we're compared to like being on the shore. So who likes going to the beach? Yes, Stella, you like the beach? Okay, so where does the sand end and the ocean begin?
On the shore, the shoreline.
On the shoreline, but it's always moving and it's quite hard to exactly distinguish. Whereas this is where it's ended and this is where it's beginning. But that's actually what we're described as. We're right on the shore. And the jiva, the soul, we have the nature that we are overwhelmed by whatever energy we shift our intention towards. And actually, intentionality is one of the symptoms of the soul. We go through this world we form intentions, and we say yes to some things and no to other things. Like maybe some of you are saying yes to, I will listen to Ram Dass speak right now. But maybe other of you are saying, no, actually I'll say no to listening to Ram Dass speak, and I really want to see what's on the wall. And I say yes. That's very interesting, what's on the wall over there. Or let me just go through the reels in my mind, and I'll say yes to those things. So we're always saying yes to some experience and no to everything else in this material world. But this is called intentionality, and this is one of the components of the soul. Everything about the soul is a khanda. It cannot be divided. So our consciousness is a khanda. Our intentionality is a khanda. But everything material can be divided. Wealth can be divided. Your body, it's gruesome, but it can be divided. Yes? People do surgeries all the time and divide little portions of the body. Yes?
What do you mean intentionality is a kanda?
That you cannot divide your intention. Like the ability to intend to do something, how can you divide yes? I intend to do something. It can't be put into components. Because this is one of the eternal natures of the soul, is to have free will. But this free will cannot be divided. You cannot even choose multiple things at once. You have to choose. You make one choice and you go with it. That's the unified experience, the akanda experience, the undivisible experience of the soul.
What if you're like indecisive and you want multiple things?
Yeah, but you can only choose one, right? Maybe I should do this, maybe I should do this, or maybe I should just sit here and freeze and not do anything at all. But you're saying yes, your intention, your undivisible intentions on one of the things, and you do that one thing. Yes? So this is one of the natures of the soul. The soul, what is this akanda nature? It is gyatritva, it's conscious. You cannot divide your consciousness into anything else. It is goptritva, it has the desire to enjoy. You can't divide your desires into anything else. You can only have one desire at a time. And then, when you fulfill one desire, you go for another one, and you keep going and keep going. But the desiring potency, goptritva, and kartritva, you have some agency or responsibility. The Bhagavad Gita, it says that we should understand that that the body is in the material energy is acting, but the self is doing nothing at all. That we are not the doer. But actually the soul is a type of doer, but it's not doing what we think it's doing. We identify the soul with the body, and as the body and everything else and mind is acting in this world, we think, yes, I'm doing that. But it's like somebody who's putting on virtual reality goggles. And in the virtual reality, they're climbing mountains, they're fighting dragons, and they're, building wealth, and who knows what they're doing in the virtual reality goggle. But actually, the person is sitting there just like, like in their nerdy little fortress, in their, in the dark somewhere. So that's what the soul is doing. It's got the virtual reality goggles and it's identifying with this material body and the things related to this body and the dead matter of this world, and the other souls who are also identifying with their body, and we're trying to dominate and lord it over the other souls. But the vimuktas, they don't do that. The liberated persons, they don't do that actually. They understand this predicament. They understand the miserable situation for the other souls, and they want to actually help, and they themselves want to be delivered from this miserable situation. If they're vimukta, they're already delivered. That's what vimukta means. They've achieved victory in liberation. So these, we should understand that these souls like this exist, and we should follow those souls. And actually that's the only way out of this. So we're at the point now where we're Beda Prakasham Sakalam. We're realizing the nature that we are different than the Lord, but also we're one with the Lord in many ways as well. We're one and different simultaneously. And everything is like that. Everything is one and different with the Lord. Because just like right now, we are seeing each other due to the energy of the sun. But we're not saying that the sun has crashed through the window and has appeared in this room. He's sent his energies. Imperfect example, right? So similarly, God has spread his energies all over the creation, and we associate with different energies. Dead matter, other living entities. And then actually there's the higher living entity, which we're really interested, not living entity, the higher energy of the Lord that we're really interested in associating. Do you know what this is called? The Lord's spiritual energy? Bhakti. This is what we're interested in associating with. Right now we're just associating with the dead material illusory energy. And maybe we're recognizing some other souls are also doing. But if we're intelligent, we'll turn to the spiritual energy of the Lord, and I want to associate with that. And then when that spiritual energy comes and associates with you by the Lord's mercy, this is called bhakti. But it's not something you do. Instead of turning to the material world, let me just grab my mantra and my beads, and I'll wrangle up the Lord, and I'll pull him in. No, if the Lord wants to come to you via bhakti, he'll come to you. And that's actually one way. He said he'll come to you if you call upon his name. But it's not you controlling him. It's him giving his mercy to you, actually. So the vimuktas, they understand these things. And they understand that everything that they're associating with is just an energy of God, and it's connected to God in some way, and they try to use everything in connection to the Lord. So, sadhanam bhakti, shuddha bhaktim. They have a goal, but they know that the way to achieve this vimukta status, this liberated status, is the process of shuddha bhakti. What is shuddha bhakti? What are some things that we do? Why do we do what we do here? Okay, I get it. I'm a material body. Everything is divisible in this material body, and I can't take anything. But why you guys are coming here? But what's the point of coming here? How will this help? What good will this do? Oh, there we go. To practice what? What are we practicing? What?
Bhakti.
Practicing bhakti. Well, how does bhakti coming here? What is happening?
Wait.
What?
Wait.
Prem? What we're trying to do, the seed of which what we're trying to do is prem, but I can't say that we're achieving prem. But we're touched by the seed of prem, yes, but what is so helpful about here? What are we getting? Hopefully we're getting some sadhu sangha. I can't guarantee you we're getting sadhu sangha. You want some?
Ramdas,
Yes.
what is sadhu sangha?
Sadhu sangha is the sangha or the association of sadhus, those who realize the truth, those who have experienced the truth. And the highest truth is actually the love of bhakti, so those who have experienced bhakti. He's good? Yes. So anyhow, so that's one thing. You're hoping that some of us here have experienced some level of truth, and that they can impart some of that. That's good. That's a good realization. No, you're spitting everywhere. So what else? What are you hoping to get here? What? Devotee association. That's good. And what is so special about the devotee? Why do you associate with the devotee? What? To go further into bhakti. So you're maybe admitting that the devotee has some bhakti, and I'd like to also have some bhakti. And then maybe if I associate with them, they'll give me some bhakti. Yes, that's actually good. That's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So the first process of devotional service is what? What's that? Shravanam is the first process of the 9 main processes of bhakti. But in order to do Shravanam, you have to do some preliminary processes of bhakti. What are they? Guru Padashraya, to take shelter of a guru. Then Guru Diksha, to actually, the guru accepts you and formally decides to instruct you, and you've surrendered to him in your heart, and he's surrendered to the hope that he can deliver you. So Diksha, and then what? Then rendering service to the guru, and so on. And then by doing this, being under the shelter of a personality who has bhakti, then what are the main 9 processes of bhakti? Shravanam, yes. So you start hearing from the guru. And then kirtanam, you start sharing what the guru has told you. So the guru is, starting to help you and deliver you, and you start sharing that, and then what will happen? Smaranam, you'll remember what the guru has imparted to you. It will stay fresh in your memory by first hearing it and then sharing it with others. And then, what are some other processes of bhakti? Padasevanam, serving the lotus feet of the devotees, serving the lotus feet of the deities, using your own feet to serve the Lord, going here, there, and the other, using your feet to doing so many activities for the Lord's service, moving here and there in this world. That's the reason you go places. Most people, they go on vacation because they want to enjoy. Like, I'm picking on my parents real quick, but my parents just... Oh, she... I hope she's not still watching. So anyway, for what comes next. My parents just went to some U.S. Virgin Islands recently. And my mom called me, and she had like a big lamentable situation of how upset she was with her situation in the Virgin Islands. Because she wanted to enjoy more, and my dad, I guess, is not such an enjoyable personality to go to the Virgin Islands with. And so she was, the last call I had with her was all these things of her lamenting that she wished my dad did this and did this and did this and did this and did this. So that's why most people use their pada, their feet, to move in this world. Oh, maybe there's enjoyment over here. Maybe there's enjoyment over here. Maybe there's enjoyment over here. But why should we really use the pada? We should use our feet for seva. We should use our feet to be in positions where we can hear from sadhus. We should use our feet to be in positions to render service to the Lord and our Guru. So like this is all very important. Yes?
So, Parsena means rendering service through our feet or rendering service to the...
It's both. It's feet. So you're rendering service to the feet of the Vaishnavas. It could be rendering service to the feet of the deities, of the Lord. It could be rendering service to the feet of Guru. But it can also mean, because Sanskrit has lots of double meaning, it can using your feet in service as well. Using your feet to go to the holy places, using your feet to render in service. So it's both. But Padasevanam can mean all these things. But But it's generally, the general meaning is serving the feet of the Vaishnavas and great spiritual personalities. But also you can use your feet to go so many ways, you know. Actually, render your feet, your pada in seva, you know, so like that. What else? Vandanam? Archanam, yes, thank you. I forgot the verse. Archanam, we can engage in different processes of worship, like we're about to do the arati here. And we cook a big feast and we offer it, right? Like Stella and Divyanchu and Tanu made some really delicious biscuits today. And I had, yes, Stella. Stella was, she was the backbone, but I saw you glazing at the end. So when I got them, you had just finished glazing them, and I said, oh. So, and then when I tasted them, I was in ecstasy, actually. They were very good. Yes, in Madhav. So when we're doing these things, this is all part of Archanam, because it's to be offered to the Lord. And Vandanam, there's different prayers maybe we hear in the scriptures, and we can recite these prayers ourselves. We remember different prayers, right? Like this. So if you get a little bit more sincere in your bhakti, you'll start to memorize some of the prayers of our acharyas. Like, Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam udara pasta vegam, etan vegam yo vishaheta diraha, sarvam atimam pritibim sashishya. I almost forgot. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha, jana sangasya loyamcha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati, utsaha nishchaya deyad, and so on. So yes. So we start to remember different prayers of our acharyas. So that, and we as we remember them and we recite them, we'll actually feel them. So these are all processes of bhakti. And then dasyam, we will feel that I'm a servant of the Lord. I have him. We'll feel that I'm a servant of the Lord. And this will save us, because we'll get up in such a dangerous position. And then if we don't have the Vaishnavas to save us, we will be in a precarious situation. So then Sakyam, we would develop friendship with the Lord, and then ultimately Atma Nivedanam. We will surrender body, mind, and words totally to the Lord. So like this. So Shuddha Bhakti, this is the way, this is the process. The thing that we're supposed to do in this life is Shuddha Bhakti. But also there's a hidden meaning in this Shuddha Bhakti, because Lord Chaitanya was talking about two different types of bhakti. What are the two different types of bhakti Lord Chaitanya was talking about? No, Shuddha Bhakti is pure bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti and Raga Nuga Bhakti, yes. So Vaidhi Bhakti is bhakti in which you are practicing out of fear, actually. Because you saw in the scriptures, you heard from Guru, and you heard that if you don't practice this bhakti, you'll get swallowed by the material world and that you will be in a bad situation, and you don't want to be in a bad situation. So I'm going to follow the rules because I fear my bad situation. An intelligent person will practice Vaidhi Bhakti. They'll realize, if I don't do these things of bhakti, I'm going to be miserable and keep being in hellish situations in this world. So they practice out of fear. But actually, the Shuddha Bhakti that's talked about is actually not that bhakti which is practiced out of fear. What's the other type of bhakti? Raganuga. What is Raganuga Bhakti? It's spontaneous bhakti. Raga is out of love, like a deep love, and anuga means to follow. Follow in the love. So, actually, when you see a certain set of servants, don't let him do that. When you see a certain set of servants of Krishna and how they serve Krishna, and you see, wow, that's a really attractive how they serve Krishna. I want to serve like that. You develop some greed for how they serve, and you aspire to serve like that. That's actually Raganuga, and you follow in the footsteps, and maybe you even learn from them, like a guru or something. So this is only in the mood of Raj. Those who serve, like the devotees in Raj serve Krishna, this is Raganuga. And actually this is the pure bhakti that Lord Chaitanya came to give. And all the other bhakti, the Vaidhi bhakti that we do out of fear, eventually we should realize this is what we should do, and it'll shift one day. There may be a shift where instead of doing this because I don't want to be punished or I think it's just my duty and I must do this, lest I'll... Really the thing is that we're fearing punishment. But actually having spontaneous attraction to Krishna's service, this is the Shuddha Bhakti that Lord Chaitanya said. So...
He's hurrying because it's 8:10.
What's that?
He's hurrying because it's 8:10.
Yes. So Veda Veda Prakasham Sakalam Api Hare Sadhanam. So the sadhana, the means of attaining the great goal is Shuddha Bhakti. And what is the great goal? Sadhyam Tadpritim Evet Upadeshavti Janan. So this thus the sadhyam, the goal is tad pritim, his love. That love of Krishna and what Krishna shares with the devotees, that is the goal. That's why we're practicing our bhakti, because we want to have real love. Because that's actually the soul's natural position. The soul is looking for something, like when we look for happiness, we want something that will always make us happy. But when we search happiness in ice cream, it doesn't always make us happy. It feels good and then it goes away. And the more we try to eat, the more and more we hate ourselves. So you've had this experience before, eating too much ice cream? Avani, maybe not, because you like your ice cream. And your body is still so small. But if you just keep only eating ice cream, then eventually you may not like the result that the ice cream is doing. But yes, what's that?
I just stop after I finish this.
You stop after your tummy is full. So that's proper actually. But all of these things in this world, they're not eternal happiness. But we crave happiness that's eternal, because we're eternal. We crave a situation that's fully enlightened, fully existent in the truth, because that's actually our nature as well. And we crave an eternal blissful situation, because that's our nature actually, and that's the nature of the Lord. But we're choosing the temporary, not blissful and ignorant things, thinking that will make us happy. But it can't. Money cannot make you happy. Sex cannot make you happy. Job can't make you happy. A relationship can't make you happy. None of it can work. It doesn't work because it's all temporary. It's not enlightened. And it's not fully blissful. It stops. And you lose all of it. So instead we should seek that which is will always make us happy. And the love of the Lord is that thing. It can always, and it will always make you happy, and it'll make you happier and happier and happier forever. So we're almost done now. So yeah, actually that's pretty much it with the verse. In Bhagavad Gita, we can go through maybe, we can go through some of the proofs in the future about different Bhagavad Gita verses that illuminate all these points and expand on all these points. But do you have any questions before we end? Yes.
I had a question. You said that we can't bring material wealth into this world with us, but what about I'm just being kind of annoying, but what about people who are born into wealth?
Born into wealth, yes. Yeah. So they have some karma from the past life that they're to get wealth in this world. But still they cannot take it with them, and it's not theirs, it's their parents, and if their parents so choose, they can give to them. I was reading a story today where there was some woman who her husband left her and her family all kinds of wealth, but the oldest daughter, now the oldest daughter is reaching out to her, and she wasn't in the will, so she's saying, no, she doesn't get any. But the husband had a daughter beforehand. But for whatever reason, he wouldn't give any wealth to her. So even that's not a guarantee. And so now everyone is yelling at this woman online. But yeah, there's no guarantee that it's your wealth. But if you're born into wealth, that's karma. But it's still a temporary situation. You're not like... so even if you do many pious things in this world, and which makes you eligible for wealth in the next world, you'll get born into a family with wealth. But the real goal of, the real gem of having wealth is that you don't have to work so hard for your maintenance. Meaning you can, even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, for a soul who doesn't complete their project in bhakti, they'll get born in either a devotee family, like Abhiram the hope was for Abhiram, or maybe many of your children, or they'll get born in a rich family where they don't have to work so hard for their money and they can just focus on the highest goal of life. Because right now we have to, how much time do we have to spend at work every day? Because we weren't born in rich family. Many of us, we have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours of our day. But how easy would it be if we were born in a rich family? We can spend our time in bhakti.
They can have problems too.
No, rich people, money means problems.
Like teenagers are doing coke.
Yeah, no. But only money doesn't have to be bad. The desire for money is bad because it's rooted in ignorance. But if money is there, and you know how to use money properly, then it could liberate you, actually. With, it can allow you to take to bhakti. Actually, by good fortune, when I was a younger man, I was doing some businesses that would get me very quick money, but were not so appreciated by the rest of society. But actually, it wasn't a good situation, and I got in trouble for it. But it did afford me something. Everyone else was working so long every day, but I didn't have to work like that to get the money. It was coming very easily, very easily. So I just had to accept that. And what did I do? I spent my time reading Bhagavad Gita and learning devotional life. And actually, without that time of having the time to learn devotional life, afforded to me by the money that was coming to me, maybe some good karma, or I don't know, it could be bad karma too, because it was not clean money coming in. But that actually afforded me the ability to take up this process. So that's what the real goal of money. Money can afford you the freedom to actually pursue the higher goal of life. But if you want money for enjoyment, then you're like Hiranyaksha. And your eyes are on the prize, and you'll just keep going further and further, and so. But yeah, money isn't actually necessarily bad. The desire for money, we don't even need to desire it. We should just desire bhakti. If we desire Shuddha bhakti, then everything else will come and serve us. Money and knowledge and everything that you need in this material world, jobs, resources, family, all these things will come and serve for the one who is pursuing bhakti. So that's the secret. You just pursue bhakti, everything will come very easily. You don't have to work so hard. People who work hard, they don't have more money in this world. Do you notice? In India, who is working the hardest? The laborers. What are they called? The Shudras, right? And is that proper to even talk like that? No. Is it derogatory?
Every service class is called Shudra.
Yeah. So, so all the service classes, right? But are they the richest ones? Do they get the most money? So working hard doesn't mean getting more money. It just means expending more energy. So what actually, what actually determines, it's actually up to the Lord and up to, or your participation in the Lord's system of karma. But it's all up to the Lord, actually, who gets money and who doesn't. So the wise person, they don't chase money, they chase the Lord, because the Lord has everything. So instead of spending their time doing this, that, and the other thing on a Wednesday night, they'll come here, right, Tanmay? So they'll come here and so on, and learn more about the Lord and more about how they can connect deeper to the Lord. So that's what we're requesting of you. That's what Lord Chaitanya is requesting of all of us. So if we're sincere, we'll do it like that. So we'll end here. That's actually the 10 root truths of bhakti. We went through all of them. The Amnaya, how knowledge is coming from the Lord through His saints, and you have to hear from a guru or the saint to receive it. then that the Lord is the Supreme Personality that's here. All energies are His, all flavors of love are His, and if you want to experience any flavor of love, it's going to be best experienced through His association with Him and His associates. We are also parts of the Lord. Some of us are swallowed by the material dead energy, an illusion, and chase nonsense things, most of us. Some are liberated beings, and we want to be like them, and we want to hear from them and get liberated by them. And because those liberated beings, they know that all things are one and different from the Lord. Everything's connected with the Lord, but it's also different, and the Lord has His unique position as the supreme over everything. And the process to reach the Lord is Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti. This pure process that's not tinged with, I want to serve the Lord because I want karma, I want fruits. Or I want to be freed from suffering. Or I want to achieve some achievement. That's why I'm going to you, Lord. I want this and that from you. Pure Bhakti is, I just want to please you. What can I do to please you? And then what do you get when it's all said and done? You get to experience the love of the Lord. So these are the 10 root truths Lord Chaitanya is sharing. Bhagavad Gita is teaching all of it. And hopefully you take these things into your heart. You can memorize the mantra. Maybe you can ask Madhav, he's been memorizing the mantra. And you can then yourself understand these 10 root truths. Okay? Yes, Madhav. Yes.
So you're talking, this is for like a question for like one who doesn't have a Diksha Guru. Like you're saying, and I've heard this multiple times, you're saying that, Bhakti, the first process is Guru Padashray.
Yes.
But the first of the 9 essentials is Shravana. But it's like, I'm just trying to understand, like, one can't necessarily take Guru Padashray unless one has had Shravana. But also, if one has not taken Guru Padashray, does that mean that one can't actually do Shravanam and Kirtanam and Smaranam?
No, So Devi, take him out of here because it's disturbing. And Madhav's asking a nice question. So Madhav was asking that it seems that you have to take Diksha to enter into Bhakti. But in order to take Diksha, you need to take shelter of a Guru. But in order to take shelter of a Guru, you should at least hear from the Guru. You can't just blindly take shelter. So yes, that's why the first taste of Bhakti comes from Sadhu Sangha. So Sadhu Sangha will give you some experience of Bhakti they receive from their Guru. So from there, what will happen in Sadhu Sangha is the chief of the sadhus that you have access to should act as your Guru. At least in the beginning, some form of Guru. Maybe Vartman Pradarshika Guru, maybe fully Diksha and so on. But, so in order to really enter deeply into Bhakti, the Guru also has to accept you. And this is Diksha. The Guru has to fully accept you, and also you have to be a qualified Guru. There's many those in the guise of Guru. The first anartha, or the first demon that Krishna kills in Vrindavan is the false Guru, who is Putana. She comes like, I'm mother, but actually she's not mother. She's someone else. She's a demon and she has different intentions. So someone could approach you like that and say, yes, I will spiritually help you. So, very good, but okay, Avani, yes, you're doing good. Yes, but give me your money and help me do this, and this things, and next thing you know, they're really only interested in you for material exploitation. So this is false Guru actually. But what is real Guru? They want to help you. And they want to just share the pure teachings of Bhakti. So they will not charge you for Bhakti. They will not say, okay, come on, let's do this, and this for me. And then maybe, here's a verse from Bhagavad Gita. Like, they're here to purely serve their Guru by sharing this mercy with others, freely actually. Which is why we never put a cost on coming here. Coming here is not a cost. If you were to live here and eat the food here and every day and then we need the help and things like that, yes, that there may be some cost, but to share bhakti, we'll never put a charge on the door. Okay, $5 admission fee, and have Tanmay be the bouncer, and only people can only come. Tanmay, make sure you shake $10 out of everyone before the door. No, that's not. So yes, you need, in order to enter bhakti deeply, you need diksha. Yes, you cannot do it without it. And you should also understand, when you act only on your own desires, this is karma yoga, this is not bhakti. Which is why it's the first teaching Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. So what's the difference between karma yoga and bhakti yoga?
Your desire versus Krishna's desire.
Yes, and what is Krishna's desire, actually?
An exchange of love, but you do that through
Yeah, but how's...
devotee.
Yeah, so Krishna's desire is coming through his devotees. His devotees know the Krishna's desire. So the bhakta who's serving the desires of Hari, Guru and Vaishnava, they're practicing bhakti. But right now, the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita is karma yoga. Everyone's coming here to learn a bit of karma yoga. Okay, I'm doing karma in this world, I'm acting. How can I link it with yoga and offer some portion of it to the Lord? So some of you are using your time. I'm going to use my time to come and hear about the Lord. I'll use a little bit of my wealth, I'll come here. Here, I'll buy flowers for the worship, or I'll cook. So these are all karma yogas, and it's good, it's very good. But in order to actually do bhakti, it's mercifully given, and the guru will give you entrance at bhakti. So eventually you'll need to take diksha from a pure bhakti guru. So from that pure bhakti guru, when you get diksha, and then he will initiate you in pure bhakti. But before then, we're doing karma yoga mixed with bhakti. It's there. They're leading us to bhakti, but it's not pure bhakti until Now I should also mention, diksha is one of the foundational limbs of bhakti. But in all circumstances, diksha was not necessary for pure bhakti. Like Maharaj Parikshit did not receive diksha from Shukadev Goswami for the transference of pure bhakti.
He was a surrendered soul.
Yeah, he was a surrendered soul, and the initiation was through proper Bhagavad Shravan.
So in the heart.
Yes, but it wasn't a formal diksha. But the general process is we take diksha. But the disciple takes a vow to the guru, and the guru takes a vow to the disciple. I'll protect this person, and the disciple says, I will serve Shri Guru. I see this is actually Krishna. Come to me in this form, and I will serve Krishna as representative, and who in my heart is Krishna. To me, this is Krishna. So that's a whole nother thing. But yes, this is bhakti. So anyhow, okay. Grantharaj and Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Okay. Das Mula Tattva ki. Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.